Okay, Vice Mayor, you had some comments. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, well, I just, I've been on the other side. I understand. There's a lot of things that you guys can't know. And there's a lot of spirited conversations that happen in confidence and confidentiality, and they have to stay there until we can bring that to you. And so I understand your frustration, but, when you're doing negotiations and things, those things have to be done in a certain way. And so that's professional. That's the right thing to do. And you can't know everything all the time, but the debate that we've had the most is the recommendation for the library was for one that was going to be very expensive and probably in the $40 million range. And that was the original, right? And so over the years, and we've all gone through this together because, I went to the library as a kid. I learned karate there. I understand the love of the library. And all of the rhetoric around the council doesn't care about the library is very, very disconnected. But what I want to say is that we have a certain amount of money that we can spend on that, and I hear a lot of great comments about grants and those things, and we have pursued those things. But we're going to come up with probably in the neighborhood of $20 million is what we're going to be able to come up with. A lot of the money that we could have spent on that library was spent in other places over the last 5 years. And I would just say it's not cosmetic, the things that we do in our city when we fix the roads and we fix the downtown. It might be perceived that way to some. But the idea here is we're building a community center, and that's a $25 million price tag. And we drained most of our Measure I funds to do that. We recently did that. Now, the library is a community center, and we have a community center being built right now, and it's going to be for all of us. And we used our money for that. And that money could have went towards the library and closed that gap, but we built the community center. So now we're going to have a community center. We're going to get a library too. We got to put those things in perspective. Now you have to understand that this is not just this council. We have a history here of issues with money, and we understand that. When this council shut things down in 2020 and shut down small businesses and hurt churches and spent $2 million on vaccines incentives and wasted tons of money on all sorts of things, probably in the $30 million range, we could have had that library built. Now we're in a situation where we went through in July. If you guys go back and look in July, this council spent 4.5 hours, and it's on YouTube. We went line by line through the whole budget, and we looked at all of this stuff. And we found a lot of things that we didn't want to find. And there might be more issues in there, but we're still digging. And the issue is that we were not paying for the golf course for the last 10 years. We were not paying for the benefits for our employees for the last 10 years. We have a $13 million hole in our budget that was left over. And it's buried in a commentary in a 2017 review of the budget. And everyone was saying everything was fine. But now you have a new council, and now it's the new council's fault that we have some financial issues. Go back and look at July and look at the line by line. We went through this, and we reprioritized everything, and we had to go back and do a deep dive and figure out how to be creative so that we can get the community center done and then start working on the library. And you guys have to understand that there is no way we can even do the library until that settlement is done, and it's not done yet. It's still not done. But we have some ideas, and there's some things that will come out later that we'll be able to disclose. And we've had some spirited debates on this, but I think we all agree we want a library. It's just how big, that's going to be the question. And it's going to be when, that's going to be a question. But we have a library right now. We have a library right now. It might be in a temporary status, but all the stuff about how we're not learning to read, we have facilities for everybody. And we're bridging the gap. And that's smart. And the city's doing that. And we're continuing that from the last council. And, I understand there's frustration out there, but there's a lot of emotion here. And there seems to be a lot of disconnects, too. So I would just come out and explain a few things and say, take a deep breath. Things are going to get done. And we're not going to make everybody happy. But if you look at these things objectively, you're going to be able to see for yourself that the council is not hiding anything from you. We have been the most transparent. We put the whole budget on the record for all of you to look at. You can go look at it right now, and you can go and study it. We did that in July. And you can hear all the comments around that. And we've talked about this a lot because we want to deliver the $40 million library, but we just can't without going into debt. And the majority of this community doesn't want to add more taxes and more bonds and go into debt. And that's the issue. And we understand your frustration. It's understandable, but you have to be informed too. When I say you're ignorant, I'm not saying that as a pejorative. I'm saying that as ignorance. You got to go look at it. I've been studying it. I'd be happy to talk with you guys about it. Everyone says I'm not approachable. I'll talk to each and every one of you. Taha, you were late today. I did a great conversation about what that talk that you did the other night. And I was moved by how your leadership was at the Chamber of Commerce. And you weren't here to hear it. I'm going to have to talk to you. But the point is, you guys, we are approachable. We don't want to politicize these issues. You don't need to be politicizing flags and silly things like that. We are working on getting you a library. And there's going to be a library delivered in this community. And I would predict that it's done within the next 3 years.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I open it up to the Vice Mayor. Does any of my other colleagues have comments?
Mayor,